Greetings, brothers, sisters, heathen. Glad y'all joined me again for yet another Book of Darius. I'm so appreciative for the folks who have been watching the videos. I know it's growing, the subscribers not, but that's all right. This is a thing in work, and I understand that acorns don't grow overnight, and we're trying to grow a tree here. So I'm going to get right to it this week, folks. Yet again, I got some more criticisms from some of my great friends. I do love y'all. This one comes from a dear brother Jonah. Now, he wrote me an email. I mean to tell you, a long email about everything that's wrong with how I'm recording, what I need to add, what I need to take away. I'm going to say this. I made some changes. You may not pick them up, but I'll let y'all know. Thank you, brother Jonah, because you see the little light rings ain't in the eyeglasses no more, but I'm going to be a little dimmer. But that's all right. I appreciate the criticism, and I'm moving right along. Now, brother Jonah did have one thing to say to me that really had me highly irritated. It was hard for me not to just stop everything I was doing and sit down and record a video right there because I was so angry. My butt was so chapped. He asked me the same question. It's a recurring theme now with folks, and that is, why are you doing this, brother Darius? I feel like I have been very clear from day one without maybe just laying it out point by point by point. But I think I've been clear. I feel like the church has failed, and I'm here just to expose it and hopefully create something that'll be a little different, give something that people can tune into and actually walk away from feeling like they received something rather than 3 points in a poem. But I'm going to expand on that at the end of this. I will conclude with a very clear why I'm doing this so y'all can stop asking me that question. And maybe that's why people ain't tuning in to watch the way I'd like, because they just watching some dummy up here rambling on and on without no point. So I got a lot of notes this week. It's going to be hard for me to stick with them, but I'm going to do my best. So the word last week was the Super Bowl. That was the big story going on last weekend. I'm highly surprised that it wasn't a bigger story. I mean, I do love football. The game itself, I am a true blue fan of America's team. Y'all know who that is. I don't endorse nobody. I try not to on this show. But the game itself was great. I thought it was just good coaching, good playing. I know a lot of y'all Philly fans went out and acted like the animals y'all are, tried to burn the city down even when you lose. That's all right, too. But usually commercials and things like that are what get Christians all hyped up and fired up about. And this year, we didn't hear a whole lot of that. I'm starting to think maybe Christians have gotten tired. Maybe they don't want to fight no more. Ain't got no more fight left in them to talk about. I'm going to tell you what I was bothered by was the commercial for avocados from Mexico. Now, y'all might think, what, you got a problem with avocados? Or if you saw the commercial, you're thinking, oh, it was the Adam and Eve thing. That's what's got them all pissed off today, is they chose to have Eve giving Adam the avocado as if that's supposed to be the book of Genesis. Well, folks, the book of Genesis actually never calls the fruit anything but a fruit. We don't know if it's an apple. Might have been an avocado. I'm more offended by the fact that avocados from Mexico spent $6.5 million, probably $7 million for the spot they got on that commercial. If you watch the news, as I encourage all y'all to do, there's a war going on in Mexico. Today, Friday, the 17th of February, news was 32 bodies were found in the state of Jalisco, Mexico. That's a chip off the block. That ain't nothing compared to what's going on down there daily, folks. It is a disaster, and it's ran by the cartels. The avocado industry has been plagued by the cartels. You don't have to look far. This ain't just me shooting from the hip, making it up. The cartels, if they can find a way to make money in Mexico, they've taken over the poor farmers who had avocado farms in their families for years. They found out, wow, Americans sure do love them avocados. They took over them farms because they want that money, and they're getting it. So that was offensive to me. Just the money being spent on commercials. I told y'all that last week. With everything going on in the world, the money that gets spent on commercials and advertising and even paying to go to the game, I personally would never be able to justify $5,000 a seat to go see a football game. That $5,000 could go to my son, my daughter, my brother, my niece, my nephew. Someone in my life could use that kind of money, and I'm pretty sure they could have used it from you too. Rihanna, that was another big topic. So some people are highly offended. Ooh, Rihanna, she up on the stage, dressed in red, just like the Grammys last week. Oh, and it was so sexualized. She up on the stage, diddling herself, and she was. Oh, it was super sexualized. And but you watched. You could have turned it off. I mean, I didn't watch it. I listened to y'all talk, and then I turned on the highlights and go, oh, yeah, wow, that's a lot for public television. They didn't know they had to pay for that show. But are we really shocked or surprised by this, folks? I mean, do you realize it wasn't that long ago? Wasn't but 19, I say not long, but 19 years ain't long. And that was when Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake pulled off had a clothing malfunction and her boobie fell out. Boop. Oh, everyone went nuts. We got to stop this. It's the FCA needs to get involved and some fines need to go out, need to ruin her career. But now, in 2023, you can masturbate with your clothes on, and that's okay. Not a big deal. A couple people get fluffed up about it, but not a big problem. So, Rihanna, are you surprised, folks? That's what I'm going to say. Decay of the country. Back to Brother Jonah. So he ended his email with something that kind of surprised me. He said, I'm surprised that you don't have any gay representation on your show. You got Brother Bartholomew, Brother Erastus, Deacon Wesley P., but you ain't got no gay representation. Which I know he meant that in jest, but let's go on and talk about it, folks. Oh, I know. There's some Christians right now going, what he going to say? I'm ready to hang him. I'm ready to take him outside, burn him on a stake. What's he going to say? What I'm going to say is Christians get worked up about too much that don't concern them. And Christians have themselves to blame for what's going on in this country, world right now. Because for a long time, we have insisted that you got to believe in me. You got to believe in my Jesus Christ. You got to believe in my Bible. And if you don't, you're wrong. You're going to hell. You're done. Are you surprised now that you have breeded a society of folks who have chosen a lifestyle, whether it be gay, transsexual? I mean, and I don't pay no never mind. If you want to cut off your wee-wee or go to Hobby Lobby and craft a PP and put it on, that's not my business. That's your business. My business is God. And for me to sit here and condemn, and you can look into the scriptures, folks. It's a well-known passage when Jesus says, let he who's innocent cast the first, let he who's without sin cast the first stone. And there ain't no degree in sin, folks. Ain't no degree in it. So if you're looking for me to come in here and condemn people's lifestyle, it's not going to happen. Because I'm only here to not even justify mine. I am what I am. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm not coming after you to disagree with you. I'm not asking you to condemn me. And you sure as blue blazes ain't asking me to give you my condemnation. You don't need it. So we're going to get to the verse today. Or the passage for this week. And I'm speaking to Christians. But I'm talking to everybody. If you tuned into this, you should get something out of everything I do on here. Whether you saved, whether you're backslidden, or whether you lost as a goose and never known Jesus. You should get something from everything I'm doing. Ain't no waste of time. Everything I'm doing here once a week, you ought to walk away with something. So, we're going to look at Mark chapter 12, verses 28 through 31. That's Mark 12, 28 through 31. So this is Jesus' answer. Someone comes to him after he just got done preaching, and they say to him this. One of the scribes came, and having heard them reasoning together, and perceiving that he had answered them well, asked him, which is the first commandment of all? This is this man asking Jesus this. And Jesus answered him, the first of all the commandments is, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. And the second is, like namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. Do you hear what I'm saying, folks? Do you hear what Jesus is saying? There's no other greater commandment than these. And the second one is the one that gets me most. And we all know it. It's pretty much the golden rule. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Do you want people condemning your lifestyle? You want people coming to you saying you got to agree with their lifestyle, no matter what that lifestyle is? Is that what you want? What I'm saying is focus on what matters, people. What matters in your life. It ain't my lifestyle. Your lifestyle ain't a big deal to me. I got to love God, and I got to love people the way I want to be loved. That's what matters. So people have asked me, why am I doing this? What is the point? Here we come. Get it now, so you don't have to ask me the question time and time and time again. And you're worrying about Janet Jackson's titties falling out and Rihanna diddling on a stage, and you're worried about the guy next door who wears too much pink clothing. Stop it. Stop it. That's what I'm trying to do, is start something here. Right now, the numbers in Syria, And Turkey is up to 50,000 people they pulling up out of rubble after an earthquake. That's what matters, folks. And I'm trying to put you in that situation because it can happen right here in this country. Earthquakes happen in California. There's a fault line in the center of this country. Hurricanes hit Florida. When your world is falling down around you, you're going to want your neighbor to love you. You're going to want him to love you. And you better have loved him the way you wanted to be loved when he needed it. And that neighbor might be someone who wears a lot of pink. Think about it. So what am I doing? What is this movement? Because that's really what I'm trying to do, is start a movement. Years ago, they would have called it a revival. Set up tents all around the country. Preacher man come in, slapping the Bible. Y'all going to turn and burn. You're going to hell. And trying to get people to turn around. Well, we're past that. Unfortunately, that kind of preaching don't work no more. I'm trying to share love with you. And to me, it comes through this. I'm trying to love you the way I want to be loved. Because if I was standing in front of a bus, I'd want you to push me out the way. And I feel like that's where we're at in this world right now. Standing in front of a bus, and ain't nobody trying to push nobody out the way. In my pipe dream world, what I want this to be, in that revival, millions of people watching this. Notice I didn't say followers. I ain't looking for followers. I'm looking for people to take away from this something and to go, I want to be a better person. I'm a Christian, so I would like for people to say, I want to be a better person for Christ. I want to know what it is to have a relationship with God. If you're not going to say Christ, God, a better relationship with God. Muslims, Jews, Buddhists, Hindus, all of them believe in God. And if you don't believe in that, we talked about this in the first episode, you believe in the universe. And right about now, it's kind of funny. Last time I'll end on this. Get them ready, folks. Big story this week. We got balloons flying all over the place. We got to shoot them all down. And people are actually saying we don't know what they are. I'm by no means saying they're UFOs, but it's kind of funny to me that there's a whole lot of people out there who will go, the little green man might be coming. There got to be some life out there somewhere. The mathematics says there's got to be life somewhere, but there's never been any proof of it. Yet you will believe in that, but you will not believe in a God. Think about what you're doing. Think about your neighbor. And on a happy note now, if you're having a birthday party this weekend, make sure you're prepared, because you're trying to put some balloons up for little Billy or little Sally. The United States Air Force might come and attack your whole party and blow y'all off the planet. I love y'all. I thank you for watching. Please spread word. I hope you're getting something from this. Amen, amen, amen.